Join me as I make easy homemade Greek yogurt. Welcome to White Shadow Fare. Make it homemade and make it with love. Start by grabbing a large pot and add to that 1 gallon of either 2% or whole milk. Now you're going to turn the burner on to a medium heat, and you need to whisk this frequently. You do not want any of the solids scorching on the bottom of your pot. You're also going to need a half to 1 cup of yogurt. This is the yogurt that I normally use. Just make sure that your yogurt says live active cultures. So you're going to take the temperature of your milk quite frequently, and you're looking for it to get to 180 degrees Fahrenheit. Continue to stir, keep an eye on that pot, continuing to take the temperature frequently. It's going to take about 30 to 40 minutes for it to come to the right temperature. Here you can see it's early on in the process. I'm only at 118 degrees Fahrenheit. Now usually I put the lid on in between my whisking. I whisk every couple of minutes. Keeping the lid on makes it come up to temperature a little bit faster. This is a process. You need at least an hour in the morning to do this. Now we're getting close to that 180 degrees and finally there. So we're going to take it off the heat, and then in your sink, either add a couple of inches of water to your sink, or I use this little bucket and just add some cold water. Then I stick the heated milk into that, and now we need to bring the temperature down. So first we brought the temperature up to 180 degrees, and now we're bringing it down, and we want it down to about 115 degrees. Now that cool water along the outside will help to bring the temperature down, and just like we did before, we're going to be constantly stirring and taking the temperature, looking for that. So the water gets hot, so about every 5 to 10 minutes I empty the water, and then I just fill it up with another inch or 2 of cold water, stick it back in, and that just helps to lower the temperature that much faster. As you can see, we're almost there. We're at 134 degrees Fahrenheit, really close. So it's time to grab the yogurt that we are going to use, put it in a bowl or a container of some sort, and you are going to add some of your heated milk mixture to it. So kind of like you would temper eggs so that they wouldn't scramble, you are going to temper the yogurt, and you want to get it extremely smooth or else you'll end up with kind of lumpy yogurt later on. So just stir this well, add a little bit more milk if needed. Now I no longer use the store-bought yogurt. I just save a half a cup to a cup of yogurt, of my homemade yogurt, each time that I make this. And for me, I need to make it twice a month. This does save me quite a bit of money. I can now buy organic milk, which is a little bit pricier, but it is still cheaper than buying the yogurt, because this is going to make the equivalent of 2 containers of yogurt. If you haven't already done so, I'd really appreciate it if you would like this video and subscribe. That would help me out. So keep stirring, and once you have it nice and smooth, you're going to add it into your milk mixture, making sure that the temperature is under the 115 degree mark. So you've got it smooth, stir it into the pot, and that's all there is to it. So first we brought it up to temperature to 180 degrees. Then we let it come down to temperature to about 115 degrees. We tempered the yogurt with the milk mixture, stirred it in. And now we need to cover it with some plastic wrap. We are going to let it sit undisturbed at 110 degrees. Now I am using my dehydrator because it will keep it at a consistent temperature. If you have a proof button on your oven, that also works. But if you don't have that, you can just wrap your pot up in a towel, stick it in your oven, making sure that your oven is not on. That will actually keep it warm enough. Now I keep mine in the oven for 7 hours, but anywhere from 6 to 10 hours is the required time. and you can see that it has gotten nice and thick here. So this right now is yogurt after 7 hours. It's like a little science experiment. Grab yourself a colander. At first I was using a very thin tea towel. You could use cheesecloth, but now I bought one of these yogurt straining bags and they work fabulous. And they also work for things like if I'm making potato pancakes and I want to squeeze the water out of the potatoes. So it's a very useful item. Just be careful when you're pouring this because it is quite watery. That water that is coming out of it is the whey. So you're going to spill all of this into the colander and let it stand there for about 10 to 15 minutes to get a good portion of the whey off of it. And then you'll grab yourself a large bowl and stick your colander right into that large bowl so that it can capture the whey over the next couple of hours. So anywhere from 2 hours to overnight. I usually let it just sit in the refrigerator overnight. The bowl captures all of that liquid and you can see the whey, which is filled with protein, and I put it in a jar because I am going to stir that back in later on with what I am making. So this is super thick, very rich Greek yogurt at this point in time, and it might be thicker than what you would like. Each time you serve it up, you can add 1 or 2 tablespoons of the whey, stir it in, and make it the correct consistency that you like. I place my yogurt in containers, stick it in the refrigerator, and it will keep for a couple of weeks in the refrigerator. I make this about twice a month. It's saving me money. I know exactly what's going into it. And I started with 1 store-bought container of yogurt, and I have not had to buy any yogurt again because now I just use some of my homemade yogurt to make the new yogurt. So in a blender, this is my favorite treat. I add some of the whey and yogurt, blend it up, and then I add frozen fruit. I like a mixture of raspberries, blueberries, and blackberries. I put them in frozen, so I'm making kind of a smoothie. I actually freeze it so it's more like a sorbet when I eat it. I figure I'm getting my homemade yogurt, it's got lots of probiotics. I'm getting my fresh berries, which are super healthy for me. So overall, not only do I think it's a fantastic tasting treat, but it's healthy for me as well. So since the berries are frozen, I have to push them down, blend up a little bit more to get everything completely blended. And then I put it in small containers, stick it in the freezer, and when I want to eat it, I take it out about an hour ahead of time and let it kind of soften up a bit. Natural, delicious, healthy, and saving me money. Who doesn't like that? And when I'm eating it as plain yogurt, I just add a little bit of honey and granola. This is so delicious. I hope you will give it a try. So easy. Who knew that making yogurt could be this easy? Thank you for joining me at White Shadow Fare.